Hello and welcome to another Python tutorial using the W3schools website. In this tutorial we're going to be going over strings. This is a series of tutorials about Python from the W3schools website. The Python strings tutorial has several parts to it, so this is one of the many parts of it. So head on over to this site, w3schools.com/Python, and you can follow along or code along with me. So briefly, strings in Python. So strings in Python are surrounded by either single quotation marks or double quotation marks. So this would be an example of a string with surrounded by a single quotation marks, and this is an example of double quotation marks. So you can display a string literal with the print function. So let's quickly give it a try. I suggest you do the same. So just click on the button here, try it yourself, and then open it up and give it a try. So once you see this open, press the run button. And as you can see, it outputs basically the string hello. And you can see that in this case it's in double quotes and here it's in single quotes. So give that a try if you haven't already. And that's just to show you this simple example. We'll move on to the next one because I think in the other videos we went over this already. So let's take a look at this one. This example, it says assign a string to a variable. So we've done this already also. So it says here, assigning a string to a variable is done with the variable name followed by an equal sign and the string. So here we have a variable name, an equal sign, and then the string. Let's give it a try. So you have a string and it's assigned to a variable name using the equal sign, and they're printing it out. Let's see what it gives us. Hello. Okay. We'll move on to the next exercise. Okay. This one you should probably give it a try because we haven't really done this yet in our previous examples. So multi-line strings. You can assign a multi-line string to a variable by using 3 quotes. So this is an example, 3 quotes. Okay. And you can also use 3 single quotes. So either 3 double quotes or 3 single quotes. Let's give it a try. So you have this string and it's has 3 single double quotes. Okay, and you're assigning that to the variable A, and then they're printing it out. So let's see here. So this is a multi-line string. The important part here is that it's a multi-line string. Okay, you could of course have done something like this. You could say B is equal to hello world, and then print B. And of course it would output hello world. Okay. Now, what if it was more than one line? So let's go like this. Instead of using the 3 quotation marks or double quotation marks, hello world everyone. Let's see what happens. Okay. So as you can see, it throws an error. So you're not able to assign a multi-line quote to a variable unless you use 3 quotation marks. So let's use 3 quotation marks, or 3 double quotes, sorry. And then now it's properly assigning the 2 lines to the variable. And notice how it's keeping the spacing intact. Obviously it's not the same as it appears in the window here, but if we were to count the number of spaces here, it would be the same number as here. Okay, and same as this on the other side. So just to show you, you can also use single quotes. Single quotes, 3 single quotes. And let's run that. And that works also. So either 3 single or double quotes, with either 3 single or double quotes, you can use that syntax to assign a multi-line string, okay, to a variable. Okay, let's try the next exercise. So the next one we did already, right? Single quotes. So let's go on to the next one. Oh yeah, by the way, it says, note, in the result, the line breaks are inserted at the same position as in the code. That's what we discussed earlier, right? Okay, let's check this one out. So it says here, strings are arrays. So what is an array? An array is just a collection, right? A collection of values. So like many other popular programming languages, strings in Python are arrays of bytes representing Unicode characters. However, Python does not have a character data type. A single character is simply a string with a length of 1. So what they mean is they don't have like single character types. They only have strings in Python. So there's no like a single there's no type character called char. There's only str, strings, okay? So square brackets can be used to access elements of the string. Okay, let's give it a try. So in this example, you're going to get the character position 1. Remember that the first character has a position of 0. So let's give it a try. So we're going to assign the string value hello world to the variable a and print the value or the character at the position 1 from the string. Okay, so if you run that, it's gonna print out E, because E is position 1. Okay, this is position 0. H would be position 0, just to show you. If I print out the 0, I'm gonna get an H, right? So if I put position 1, I'm gonna get an E. Okay, I want you to do this one. So copy the code, rewrite the code just to get the hang of doing this. So A equals hello, comma, world, and then print the variable a, which is a string str variable, but an str is considered to be a collection of characters, so it's similar to an array, similar behavior as an array. And then you can ask it for the value at the position of the array, at the one position of the array. So if you print that, you get E. Now, what if you removed this? What would you get? Hello world, right? It would print out the entire string. And then if you wanted to figure out the type, you could write type and run it, and it should give you str. Okay, what if we went like this, and then we wanted to know the type of E, or the character, the value, the value at position 1 in the array, or the string array. Let's run it. Okay, so it's also considered an str, and that's consistent with the explanation, right? It says here, like many popular programming languages, strings in Python are arrays of bytes representing Unicode characters. However, Python does not have a character data type. A single character is simply a string, okay, with a length of 1. So that's why when we ask for the type of the character E at position 1 in the string array, or the string the str, we get, it's telling us that it's also of type str. Okay, because Python doesn't have the char type or the character type. It only has a single character is considered to be a string. So that's why it's telling us that we're asking Python, what is the type of e in the string? And it's saying str. Okay, because Python doesn't have character types. It only has str types. Well, not only str types, but strings are considered collections of single strings. Okay. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Oh, so here. We do this? We just did this one. Okay, let's go on to the next exercise. So looping through a string. Okay, looping through a string. So since strings are arrays, we can loop through the characters in a string with a for loop. Okay. I know we haven't done for loops yet, but this is just to give you a preview of what's to come. You'll just try this out and then you'll see how this works. So the example is saying loop through the letters in the word banana. Okay. What do you think that's going to do? Loop through. What is loop through? It means to go through, right? Each one in a loop, right? One after the other. I'll just run it to show you what's going to happen. So it's printing out each letter in the word banana on a new line. Okay. So how does this code work? Well, first of all, let's just print out the word banana, okay, without putting it inside of this for loop. Let's just see what we get. So we get the word banana, which is a string on a single line. Okay, so that's kind of obvious, right? Now here, you're telling Python, okay, for each x in banana. So what that means is that for each element in the collection or the array, remember a string is also considered to be an array in Python. So, and an array is a collection. It's just like multiple values. So in each, I just want to go back here because I just want to show you something here. So previously in the other tutorials, we went over data types and we learned about sequence types. Okay, these are collections. Okay, so so here, right, this kind of notation where you have this square bracket, this is called a list. They're referring to it as an array. Okay, but if we test the type of this, right, it's telling us in Python that it's a list. You can also call it an array, just for the sake of the explanation here. They're calling it an array. In Python, this is actually this notation is the type of this notation is list. Okay, so when you have these square brackets, so values inside of a list of values inside of these square brackets, it's called a list. Okay, so I'm gonna just close this now. So here we have a string. However, Python can access it in the same way as it does a list. Okay, by using the notation, this kind of notation. Okay. So now, what is this code saying? So it's saying for x, in other words, for each value in this list, in this character list, or in this list, and remember, in Python there's no characters, but in this string, for each letter in this string, okay, print the letter. And that's why we're getting banana, okay, BANANA. A, N, A, okay, on a new line. We could change this to something else. We could change it to, I don't know, apple, okay, and if we printed this, we'd get, you know, we get each letter in the word apple and on a new line. We could say print A plus A. Okay, and what do you think is going to happen? So we'd end up with, oh, it says here, unsupported type error. Let me see here what happened. So print X in apple. This is good. I like having error so we can debug it. It says here, trace back most recent call. Okay, file program, line 4. I think this is line 4. Type error, unsupported operand types. So you cannot use a plus sign. Oh, okay, this is a special type, a none type in str. So let me just comment this out, and then I want to see what type this is gonna output. Let's run that. str. Okay. So it's, why is it calling it a none type? Okay, let me just go like this. Oh, because I'm telling it to print outside of the bracket. That's why. If I'm adding it outside of the print function. What if I just went like this, plus A. Let's put a space there. You can try this also, even though I'm making some. See, now it works. So even though I'm making mistakes, I'm also learning how to debug the mistakes, how to fix the errors at the same time, and this is really useful in programming. So it's good to make mistakes, especially when you're learning a language, okay, or practicing a language. So this works, okay. So you understand how this code, what's happening here, right? So if you can, when you see a 4, it means you're gonna be iterating over a list, okay? You're gonna be going over a collection of some sort and doing some repetitive action. So for each of the values, for each of these positions in apple, you want to print out the value of the position. So this is the value of the first position, the value of the second position, the value of the third position, and so on, okay, till you get to the end, and you want to print out the value, and it's going to give you each letter in the word apple, okay? So now that you understand this code, try it on your own, okay? So I want you to comment it out. I know it's tedious, but this is how you learn, right? Okay, so just write 4 X in apple. Okay. Two dots. Print X. Okay. Let's run it. Okay, so it's working. Okay, so remember this, when you have to put a space here to denote that it's part of this block. Okay, after the colon. Okay, so let's run it again. See, I didn't put the space, so it doesn't understand. It doesn't know that this print is part of the for loop. It doesn't know that. Okay, it doesn't know that it's supposed to execute it in a loop. So to fix the problem, you need to put a space or a tab. Okay, so give it a try, and then we're gonna move on to the next exercise. Oh, whoops, I think I closed the wrong one. So let's go back here to strings. And we were here, right? Okay, let's go on to the next one. So string length. So to get the length of a string, use the len, or short for length function. Okay, len function, length function. Okay, so the len function returns the length of a string. So what do they mean by length? They mean how many characters or how many spaces, how many positions are there in the string. So if you were to count each letter, including the white spaces and the commas and so on, exclamation mark, you would get a value, and that would be equivalent to the length of the string. Okay, so let's try it. So I'm going to run it, and it says 13. So that means that this hello world string has a length of 13, or there are 13 positions, okay, in the string. So you could, you know, let's try this on our own. First of all, I want to make this a bit shorter, just to make it easier to, simpler. Okay, I'm going to run it, and I'm going to count, manually count how many positions there are here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why we get a length of 5. Okay, so I want you to do the same thing. Okay, so comment this out and then copy the code. So rewrite the code. So a equals hello, and then you want to print the length of the variable a, which contains the value hello. Okay, so we'll run it, and we end up with 5. We could change this to space. Let's put a space there and see what happens if it detects it. 6, it does. And then if you write hello there, okay, it's telling us that this string has 12 values. Okay, a length of 12, not 12 values, sorry, 12 positions, or a length of 12. Okay, so give that a try. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, check string. So to check if a certain phrase or character is present in a string, we can use the keyword in. Okay, so that's pretty intuitive, right? So let's take a look at the example. So to check if the string free is present in the following text, you can use the in keyword. Let's try it. So the best things in life are free. Okay, let's run that. So, okay, I want you to comment this out. Okay, and then write it out. So txt, declare a variable txt, and then write the best things in life are free. Okay, so you've created a variable name called txt, then you've assigned it this string. Then you're going to print. Okay, you're going to print, you're not going to, okay, let's just start off by printing txt. Okay, and run it. And it's going to print out the string, right? Now, we're going to perform they call it, we're going to evaluate, okay, this code here inside of the print function. We're going to say, okay, does the word free exist in the variable txt? So can this string free be found in this string? And if it is true, then it should output, right, true. Okay, so let's run it. True. Okay, so that means that free is found inside of the string txt, okay? The variable txt. You could also do something like this, right? If free in txt print true. Print, free free, here, I go like this. Free is in, and then could go like this, txt. Okay. Let's just run that. So it's saying if the word free is inside of this string free, if this string is inside of this string, then print free is in this, okay? Let me see if that's gonna look good. Yeah. I'm gonna go like that just to make it more clear. Plus, okay, run. Hopefully this works. Yeah, okay, so it's saying free, the string free is in the string the best things in life are free. Okay? Is in the string, okay, the best things in life are free. Okay? So that worked. That's cool. Let me make that smaller. So free is in the string the best things in life are free. Okay, cool, it worked. So let's go on to the next exercise. We're not going to go over this if and else statement here. We'll do that in another tutorial, but this is just to show you, another way of going about outputting the result of this. Okay? The point of this lesson was you can use this in keyword to test whether or not a value is inside of a collection, or the string is inside of this string and inside of another string. Okay, so try that on your own, and I'm going to move on to the next one. Okay, so use it in an if statement. Oh, that's what we just did. Okay, we just did that. So if free in, so if the word free, if the string free is in the other string, this string, then print yes, free is present. Okay, we just did that, so I'm not going to do it again. Let's move on to the next one. So check if not. So to check if a certain phrase or character is not present in a string, we can use the keyword not in. Not in. Okay, so check if expensive, check if the string expensive is not present in the following text. So we have here this text, or this txt variable, and it has been assigned the string the best things in life are free. We're going to print expensive not in text, so it should give us either true or false, right? So let's run it, and then press run, and as usual comment this out, okay, so that you can give it a try. So write txt equals the best things in life are free. Okay, and then print it out. So expensive not in. The key part here is this, right? The key part of this lesson is using the keyword not in txt. And run it. should output true because, right, expensive is not in the best things in life are free. If we put best not in, it would be false, right? Because best is here, right? So it is best not in txt? False. It is in txt. Let's try it. Okay, so false, right? This statement here, best not in txt, is false because it is in txt. What about the word kaka? Okay, is the word kaka not in txt? What do you think? True, right? Kaka is not in txt. Okay, so now you understand how to use this, right? Not in. So in or not in. It's a good way of quickly checking if a string exists inside of another string. Okay, it's kind of like yeah, it's a shortcut, kind of like a trick to find a word inside of another word. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So use an if statement. Okay, print only if expensive is not present. So let's give that a try. I know when you have these double negative things, it's kind of confusing. So we'll just do the exercise. Even if you can't wrap your head around the logic, it's okay. It's just to get used to the syntax and to be aware of this keyword, okay, not in. So just type it out. txt equals the best things in life are free. Okay. Then type, okay, if, I put an extra space here just to make it more readable. So if expensive, okay. Remember, you have to put it in between quotation marks, okay. Not in txt. Then we want to print no. Okay. Expensive is not present. Oops. Okay. So if this word, if this string is not in here, in this, okay, then print no, expensive is not present. Okay, so and it's true, it is not present because there's no word expensive here, right? But if you put here, the best things in life are expensive. Okay, what do you think is going to happen? Is it going to say no, expensive is not present? It's not going to say anything, right? Because expensive is in txt. Expensive not in txt. So this statement here, okay, would end up being what? False, right? This is false. Okay, so that means that if this is false, then this will not run. Okay, so I'll just put a note here, false, so it does not run. Does not run. Okay, so print does not run. So that's why nothing shows up here. Okay, so if you were to in other words, I mean, I could also reword this. I could say, I mean, just logically speaking, so expensive is not in. Okay, this is what I'm saying about double negatives. Very confusing. Expensive is not in txt. In other words, it is in here. Okay. So yeah, this will confuse you even more. So better off just to leave it how it was before. So what was it? We're asking the question here. Expensive not in txt? False, because expensive is inside of here, right? You see it right here. So if the result of this evaluation is false, okay, then this will not run. Okay, this doesn't run because it's false. If it were true, in other words, if I get rid of this not, so expensive, is the word expensive inside of the string? Is the string expensive inside of the string? Okay, it is in the string, right? This is true. So I would change this to yes. Expensive is present. Okay, and if I run it, it should say yes, expensive is present. Yes, expensive is present. Okay, so you get that. Hopefully you get that. The important part about this is the keyword in, right? You're trying to determine whether or not a string is inside of another string. Okay, I could have went like this. I don't need to assign the string to a variable. I could have put it directly into here, like that. Okay, and then I could run this, and it would output the same thing. Okay, but it makes it a little easier to read if you put it inside of a variable like this. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So, that's it. Okay, so we went through all of these exercise examples in the first part of this tutorial, of this multi-part tutorial on Python strings. Okay, so we learned about, what did we learn about? We learned about, a string can be placed inside it between double quotes or single quotes. Okay, we learned about assigning a string to a variable. We learned about multi-line strings using 3 quotation marks, and it will basically keep the state of the string, the position of the string and the white spaces intact. Okay, for multi-line strings. We learned about that you can also use single quotes to do have the same effect as double quotes for multi-line strings. We learned that strings are similar to arrays, okay, and you can access the single string by requesting the string at the position, or in other languages you'd call this a character or a char, but in Python there's no such thing. There's only strings. Okay, so you can access the position, okay, of inside of a string, okay, by using this similar to array notation, right, where you can ask for the position, you can ask for the value inside the position of the array. Okay, we learned about looping through a string because it's treated as an array, which is is basically a collection of values, and you can perform this for in loop on a string. Okay, and it will loop over each element or each value in the string. Okay, we learned about the len function, which tells you the length, the number of values inside the string. Okay, we learned about the in keyword, which you can use to test whether or not one string is inside of another string. Okay, here in, so is free inside of this string, yes or no? I'll leave that up to you. And we learned about we learned about not in, if not in, not in. Okay. So that covers the first part of this string tutorial. The second part, in the next part, we're going to go over functions related to, or not necessarily functions, but slicing strings. That means, taking a part or a segment of a string. And there are different ways to do that. Okay, so we're going to go over that in the next tutorial. Thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one. Take care.